Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back, everybody.
Today, hopefully, we are fixing this piece of junk. So, I'm going to take a thumbnail real quick, and then we can go ahead and get started on fixing garbage. You know, it does kind of look like our garbage can, just a little bit brighter. Wouldn't you say?
What?
Looks like a garbage can.
It's green.
Yeah.
It's green.
What do you think, monkey? What do you think?
Is you poking it?
So, we've got new OEM Honda parts because I guess that's like gold. That is the stuff to use. We ordered all of this from Blade Sports. Or is it Blade Motorsports? I think it's just Blade Sports. OEM intake manifold gasket, OEM exhaust gasket, and of course an OEM head gasket with OEM studs and our VTEC solenoid gaskets, along with their racing timing tensioner. It's supposed to be better. I guess the OEM timing control tensioners, timing chain tensioners, had problems going out and not keeping pressure. So that's what we got. That's what we're gonna go with. What are you getting into now?
She's scratching the green machine.
She's scratching the green machine?
She's scratching it. It's okay.
Da-da-da-da.
It needs to be redone.
Are you gonna tell him?
Tell him.
Tell him what we're doing.
Here, go tell him. Come here. Tell him. Tell the viewers.
You just want to touch it? Let's get really close. Oh, your finger's over the camera.
There you are. That's the microphone. Don't put it in your mouth. Tell them what you think.
So I've done a head install before on a Datsun. I did relatively the same things as I would do on that car. I went ahead, took some super high grit sandpaper. That way I'm not taking any material off. I'm just taking off the gunk that was on here. And I used a lubricant, of course. That way it minimizes any sort of damage that I could potentially cause to the block. Same thing with the cylinder head. I'll flip you around. We've got a nice clean surface. I need to wipe it down one more time. There's a little bit of stuff on here, but a nice clean surface. This does look like it's been machined. Yeah, you can even see it on the camera. It's been machined fairly recently. And then I did that on the intake manifold as well. Sorry, the intake ports, not the manifold. I've got almost everything to assemble. Well, really the entire motor. I'm waiting on, I'll flip you around again. I'm waiting on a new cam cradle, cam journal, whatever you want to call these guys. That one is scored pretty bad. And I posted something up on a S2000 Facebook group. Let's see. They told me to go ahead and just replace it, but you have to replace the entire unit, not just a lower or an upper or a single portion. So I've got that coming, should be here tomorrow. We'll go ahead and start assembling everything today, and then tomorrow we'll assemble everything for the head, do an oil change on it, fill it up with coolant, and hopefully she runs. And hopefully she don't burn coolant either. The previous owner did say he did a head gasket. I'm not sure how much I believe that, because the one that came out was pretty garbage. She actually has a video on her phone. We'll go ahead and put it in here and you guys can take a look at it. Sorry, it's very bad.
It's a brand new head gasket. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what we were told. It was a brand new head gasket.
It's just cheap. That's all.
No, that shouldn't work. There ain't nothing in there anymore. Yes?
You look very disappointed.
I am.
Why? You'll just fix it. You're learning new things. That's what you like about cars, right?
Oh yeah.
Learning new things.
Yep. Very fast pace on this one though. It's not giving us any breaks. It's just knowledge.
That's just your life.
Welcome to my house out in Utah. You know what I like more than
She's
my
always
green
yelling.
machine here? Knowledge. It was nasty.
Less than ideal.
Yeah. Very much less than ideal.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, open our new gaskets, start putting them where they belong. At least the intake one, because the intake manifold is way easier to put on while the cylinder head is off than while it's on. She run away. So I'm gonna go over this cylinder head real quick, just make sure everything is nice and clean before we go ahead and try to assemble this. Same thing, I said cylinder head, engine block, cylinder head.
Engine block.
And then we're gonna put a little amount of RTV around this outer edge, and then we will go ahead and assemble the motor and what's left of the cylinder head anyways. So, got a head. We torqued the intake manifold up. There are 5 bolts here on the bottom, 1 back there up top, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got a total of 10 intake manifold bolts that hold it to the cylinder head. Obviously there's more than that are actually on the intake manifold itself. So now I've got this all assembled to the point of me putting it on the car. I go ahead, put the RTV on the car on this front portion here, and that goes right on top of your timing chain cover. They tend to leak a little bit. I'm only going to put a small amount, and that is just to make sure it gets a good seal. Everything else is going to remain just the gasket. I'm not using any sort of copper spray, anything like that, just the Honda OEM head gasket. We'll go ahead and throw this on, and then I'll walk you through the actual head bolts themselves and what I'm going to do when I install those, because I am going to lube them up first before we put them into the block. That just helps protect the threads and make sure that everything seats nice. So we've got the head set in place, and what we're going to do now is lube up the head bolts. We're going to dip them in just a little bit of oil, just enough to, like I said, lube them up. We'll drop them down in there, snug everything up by hand, go through with the torque wrench, and get them torqued up to spec. And then we'll put the main sprocket for the head back on before we do anything else. So the way that we're going to do this is we got our oil. I'm literally just going to dip these in and drop them into the head, and that's going to be about it. So we'll take our cap off.
And what?
We'll dip our bolt in there, let it drip off a little bit, and go ahead and slide them in. We got the head torqued, and we got that main cam on there. It's all lined up. I've got to go ahead and get this washer on the inside. It goes between the head itself and that sprocket. And then everything else I have to pretty much wait on, because we are waiting for the cam cradle. And then we can go ahead and work on getting it fired up. Casey's here. He's also broken.
How's it going?
So
Austin hasn't fixed me yet.
he is rocking some new airbags. You want to air out for him?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't know if you guys can hear that,
I got it before Austin.
but the only thing he has that's cooler than mine. I did forget there's a couple more things I can do really quick, and put the exhaust manifold back on, and then go ahead and set up the timing chain tensioner along with the VTEC solenoid and replace those gaskets as well, since chances are they're bad. I pulled them off already and threw them away, but I don't remember what they look like. This was almost 2 weeks ago that I pulled it apart. So we'll go ahead, put our new gasket on that exhaust manifold side, and then this is where our timing chain tensioner and VTEC solenoid will go. So our timing chain tensioner goes down below, and we did opt to get a really nice timing chain tensioner, if I can find it. This guy right here. So I did splurge a little bit. I think this thing was like $284, which to me is a lot for a timing chain tensioner, but everybody says it's a worthwhile upgrade, so I figured while we were here, we'll go ahead and do it. I can't remember exactly what brand this is. It might be Blocks. I'm not quite sure. Anyways, we'll go ahead and get this put on. That'll keep our motor set in time and won't have loose chain flopping around. And yeah, so I'm gonna go throw this on real quick and then get it all set up, ready to go. Here's a little bit closer look at it. It is by Blade Sports as well. Sorry, I thought, I did not realize that they made their own, but they do. So, anywho, this is for your timing chain. That little silver bit right there helps keep tension on your timing chain and keeps it from flopping around, skipping a tooth, and it's pretty important piece. So, I did spend a little bit of money on this, but I'm hoping that it'll be worth it. It'll help keep us where we need to be. Go ahead and slide this in. It only goes in one way, so if it doesn't fit the way you did it, flip it 180 degrees, should slide right in. Well guys, it is the next day. We finally got our new cam cradle assembly in. It's not new, but it's not scored. It is, we'll say, gently used. Flip it around. All those grooves look nice. No scratching, no scoring, nothing visible. Sweet. So we can go ahead, we can set that up. I've already done this before. I'm gonna go ahead, throw it together real quick, put the cams on, torque the cams, and then that will be good to go. And then everything else is gonna be, you know, plugging everything in for the intake manifold and spark plugs and such. So the rest of this should go pretty quick. I'm gonna go ahead, get it done. We'll go from there. Well guys, time has come to start it. Let me show you just how nasty this oil was. I'll come into the light, but yeah, that's legit Nesquik chocolate milk or some sort of coffee, but that's not what oil should look like at all. On the bright side though, there was no metal in it. There was nothing on the plug, so I don't think I spun a bearing or hurt anything super bad. We're charging currently on the GTI because the battery died from when I was trying to crank it when it was having problems. So now we hope I push in the clutch, turn the key on, still dead. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer and then we'll go ahead and try and start it again. Well guys, definitely running. Not great. One of these injector clips is not wanting to stay on there all the way. And then it also sounds like I've got a vacuum leak occasionally. Not 100% sure what that sound is. It sounds like a vacuum leak, but it also goes away, which makes me a little nervous. So I gotta figure that out. Oops, my beep. Well guys, S2K is done. It is running great. The issue we were having was actually a fuel injector. There's a little rubber seal, kind of like in the coil pack ignition clips, that had bunched up and like folded over. Wasn't allowing it to get a good contact on it. So now it's running great. Doesn't sound like a Subaru anymore. It is still slow, but you know, we can always fix that. I want to thank you all for watching once again. Sorry, I can't really hear myself. The seasons are changing and my ears are a little stuffed up. But thank you all for watching. Sorry you didn't get a video last week. We were in Florida just on vacation. If you liked the video, like the video. If you didn't like the video, like the video anyways. If you're just here to make fun of me, well, might as well like the video. And subscribe so you can see more videos and make fun of me some more. So, without further ado, I'm gonna shut up. I will catch you next time, guys. Peace out, and thank you for the subscriber count. Keep growing. It's awesome. You guys have a wonderful night, and I will catch you next week.